Electromagnetic radiation is a form of energy. It is present all around us, like the light produced by a bulb or the light coming from the sun, and even the signal you get on your phones. Electromagnetic radiation is produced due to oscillating electric and magnetic fields. When this energy is considered as waves, they are called as electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic radiation extends over a range of frequencies and wavelengths. This is called as the electromagnetic spectrum. In the order of increasing frequencies, electromagnetic spectrum consists of radio waves, microwaves, infrared waves, visible light, ultraviolet waves, X-rays and gamma rays. Visible light has a wavelength ranging from 400 to 700 nanometer. The wavelength of X-rays is from 0.01 to 10 nanometers, which is much less than that of visible light. Thus, X-rays are not visible to the human eye. A German professor, Wilhelm Röntgen, stumbled on X-rays in 1895. He began studying them and called them X-rays because they were an unknown type of radiation. Röntgen was awarded the first Nobel Prize in Physics for this discovery. The first photograph of a human body part using X-rays was the photograph of Mrs. Röntgen's hand. This showed that X-rays could have medical applications. X-rays have a variety of uses. In medicine, they are used in CT scans, in radiotherapy for cancer management, in projectional radiographs to detect the pathology of skeletal system. In art, they are used as X-ray art. Border control vehicle scanners use X-rays for inspecting the interior of vehicles. In astronomy, X-ray emission from celestial objects is studied. At airports, security luggage scanners use X-rays for inspecting the interior of the luggages. In industries, they are commonly used to find internal defects in objects or parts. In research, X-rays are used to study the crystal structure and produce images of very small objects. X-rays can be classified into soft and hard X-rays. Soft X-rays have energy lower than 5 to 10 kilo-electron volts. They are easily absorbed in air and are used in X-ray microscopes and to study the ultrastructure of living biological materials. Hard X-rays have greater energy, greater than 5 to 10 kilo-electron volts. They are more penetrating, thus they are used in medical radiotherapy and in determining the crystal structure by X-ray crystallography. X-rays are produced when charged particles of high energy hit a material. One way of generating X-rays is by an X-ray tube. X-ray tube is a vacuum tube which consists of a hot cathode, mainly nickel, and an anode or target made of high melting point material like tungsten, tungsten plus rhenium, molybdenum or copper. When high voltage is applied to the cathode, high velocity electrons are released by the cathode. They strike the target, creating X-rays. This X-ray is plotted between intensity and wavelength called as X-ray spectrum. It consists of a continuous radiation called as Bremsstrahlung and several peaks called as characteristic emission. How is this spectrum generated? When electrons hit the target, they give rise to these two types of radiations. Let's first look into how the peaks are formed, that is, the characteristic emission. Consider an atom of the target. The incident electron from the cathode strikes this atom and removes the innermost electron from it. Thus, a vacancy is generated in the K shell. Now, an electron from the L shell jumps down to fill this vacancy and radiates its excess energy as K alpha line. Or this vacancy could also be filled by an electron in the M shell. Then this excess energy is radiated as K beta line. If higher energy electrons fill this vacancy, they give rise to K gamma, K delta lines. These lines form the K series. The incident electron could instead remove an electron from the L shell. An electron from the M shell could jump down to fill this vacancy. The energy radiated is the L alpha line. Similarly, when electrons from higher shells fill this vacancy, they give rise to L beta, L gamma, L delta lines, and so on. These lines form the L series. Considering K series, the transition probability of electron to jump from L shell to K shell is more than that from M shell to K shell. Thus, K alpha lines are more intense than K beta lines. Also, the energy of K beta line is more than K alpha. Thus, K beta has lower wavelength than K alpha. Thus, characteristic emission consists of sharp peaks in the spectrum. The characteristic X-ray spectra is dependent on the target. They are larger for heavier elements. As the atomic number of the target material increases, energies of the electrons in particular shells increase as Z squared. Thus, the energy released when electron jumps to fill lower vacancy is large. This results in a radiation of higher energy, thus the characteristic X-ray energy increases. Thus, each characteristic X-ray spectra is a characteristic of that element. This property can be used to identify the elements. Next, we have the continuous spectrum or the Bremsstrahlung radiation. It is also referred as the braking radiation. It is produced when the incident electron is decelerated by the positively charged nuclei. This loss of energy is radiated in the form of continuous X-ray spectrum. Bremsstrahlung is independent of the target but is dependent on the energy of incident electrons. Even though X-rays have a variety of uses, X-ray photons carry enough energy to ionize atoms and disrupt molecular bonds. They are ionizing in nature and can be harmful to living tissues. Prolonged exposure to X-rays can cause radiation sickness and even radiation-induced cancer. Accidents with X-rays may lead to deformity and burns in living organisms. When dealing with X-rays, take appropriate measures to protect yourself.